Good morning. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. It sure is a beautiful day for a Mother's Day. We got the wind blowing a little bit. We hope that it won't mess up our microphone. But this morning we need got several people again that we need to remember in our prayers. Please keep in mind that my brother, still having back troubles, and um, Betty Ann and Jackie, my cousins, they're still having some health issues. Uh, Keep praying for my friend Steve Milburn and Benny Blair, uh, my wife's friend Laura Powers, um, Emily Bolden Smith. I hear she's back in the hospital again. Keep in mind that Chip Robinson. Keep praying for him, and my friend Ronnie and his wife Jean. Keep them in your prayers. Um, Anybody else that you think of that might be in need of prayers, please pray for them and keep them in your prayers. Keep them on your mind. This morning, this is one of my favorite few verses here, and it really stands out in the book of Proverbs. It's at the end of the chapter, end of the book, I must say. It's the last chapter, and we're going to start in verse 10. And it says the purpose of the book of Proverbs is to help people come to know wisdom. Here is a tribute to a Hebrew womanhood. The wife and mother is an example of one who fulfills God's purposes in her life. And we're going to start in verse 10. It says, "Who can find a virtuous woman? For her price is far above rubies. Her heart of her husband doth safely trust in her, so he that shall have no end, no need of spoil. She will do him good and not evil all the days of her life. She seeketh wool and flax, and worketh willingly with her hands. She is like a merchant ship, she bringeth her food from afar. She riseth also while it is yet night, and giveth meat to her household, and a portion to her maidens. She considereth a field, and buyeth it. With the fruit of her hands she planteth a vineyard. She girdeth her loins and with her strength, and strengtheneth her arms. She perceiveth that her merchandise is good, and her candle goeth out not by night. She layeth her hands to the spindle, and her hands hold the distaff. She stretcheth out her hand to the poor, yea, she reacheth forth her hands to the needy. She is not afraid of the snow or for her household, for all her household are clothed with scarlet. She maketh herself coverings of tapestry, and clothing is silk and purple. Her husband is known in the gates, and he that sitteth among the elders of the land. She maketh fine linen, and selleth it, and delivereth girdles to the merchant. Strength and honor are her clothing, and she shall rejoice in time to come. She opened her mouth with wisdom, and her tongue is the law of kindness. She looketh well to the ways of her household, and eateth not the bread of idleness. Her children rise up, and they call her blessed. Her husband also, he praiseth her. Many daughters have done virtuously, but thou art excelleth them all. Favor is deceitful, and beauty is vain, but a woman that feareth the Lord, she shall be praised. Give her the fruit of her hands, and let her own works praise her in the gates." Man, that's a lot of good stuff right there. If you get time, go pull that up and read it. I hope you've been blessed by having a good mother. I had one. I had two good grandmothers, and I'm pretty sure that my mother, when I was a kid, she always made me go to church, and I thank her for that now, because I think I may have had a hard time being a Christian if I hadn't got started when I was young. My hat's off to these folks that are smart enough to figure out that they need to be a Christian without being taken to church when you're a kid. I learned back at a young age the things that you should be doing, and it stuck with me, and I'm glad for that. I know a lot of folks probably didn't have that good opportunity that I did. But if you have a mother, I hope that you take care of her today and have a good Mother's Day. I also have one more thing that I'd like to share with you. It's a poem about mothers, and it's called Her Hands, and it's by Maggie Pittman. Her hands held me gently from the day I took my first breath. Her hands helped to guide me as I took my first step. Her hands held me close when the tears would start to fall. Her hands were quick to show me that she could take care of it all. Her hands were there to brush my hair, to straighten a wayward bow. Her hands were often there to comfort the hurts that didn't seem to always show. Her hands helped to hold the stars in place and encouraged me to reach. Her hands could clap and cheer and praise when I captured them at length. Her hands would also push me, though not down or in harm's way. Her hands would punctuate the words, just do what I say. Her hands sometimes had discipline to help bend this young tree. Her hands would shape and mold me into all she knew I could be. Her hands were now twisted with age and years of work. Her hands now need my gentle touch to rub away the hurt. Her hands are more beautiful than anything could be. Her hands are the reason I am me. What a great tribute. I've watched my wife do all of these things to our kids, and I appreciate her. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a great Mother's Day. Remember your mother, pray for her, and keep in mind all the sick folks that we have, and keep them in your prayers. Pray for our servicemen and women and our first responders, and all the folks that take care of us. Pray for our country and our leaders. Thank you very much. We'll see you next time. God bless.